Naruto was all alone for most of his life. But imagine if Naruto hadn't blindly fought all those battles on his own, and instead had the knowledge of the future and a mentor who could guide him. And who could be a better teacher than the Sage of Six Paths himself? So, in this video we're exploring an alternate take on the Naruto universe, one where Naruto trains under Hagoromo for 999 years. Here's how that story could unfold. The day is dark. Rivers of blood are flowing everywhere. It's a great time in the future when Naruto is already old. The shinobi world fought a war against the Otsutsuki and lost terribly. Now they're about to destroy Earth. Naruto is at death's door, but he hasn't given up. He uses the last remaining chakra in his body to fuel a special device. It was a copy of the device that was used by Sasuke and Boruto to go back in time. He wanted to go back in time so he could stop the Otsutsuki before it was too late. But he didn't have enough chakra to transport his entire body through time. So he did the only thing he could. He changed some settings in the Otsutsuki time travel device and used it to only send his memories to the past instead of his own body. The information about his memories traveled back in time like Doraemon's time machine. Then it arrived in the Leaf Village 60 years in the past and landed inside a 13-year-old Naruto. But these memories were too weak and could not awaken inside the young Naruto's brain. So instead of getting revelations about the future, this 13-year-old Naruto just got a headache. Then everything progresses normally. Naruto defeats Mizuki to pass the Genin exam. And once he is a Genin, he joins Sasuke and Sakura under Kakashi to form the Team 7. After some time, Team 7 gets a bodyguard mission to the Land of Waves. Their client is Tazuna, but then Zabuza attacks again under Gado's orders. The fight happens in the same way it happened in the original story. Kakashi and Zabuza engage each other, while Haku traps Naruto and Sasuke inside her crystal ice mirrors. She throws countless kunai, and Naruto is about to get hit, but before he can, Sasuke jumps in between and protects Naruto. Naruto is stunned. He holds Sasuke gently. Why did his rival sacrifice himself to save him? Naruto is enraged, and the Nine Tails chakra starts leaking out from him. But before he could counterattack Haku, something weird happened. When he holds the injured Sasuke, his blood splatters onto Naruto's hand. And because he had stabbed himself in his arm before to show that he wasn't a coward, he has an open wound that hasn't healed yet. Sasuke's blood falls onto the open wound, and his blood mixes with Naruto's. Naruto's wounded arm suddenly started glowing. It absorbed all the Nine Tails chakra Naruto was releasing and got even bigger. Finally, it exploded, and everything became white. Reality itself cracked, and Naruto was left stranded in a white void all alone. The gravity in this world was 10 times more than the gravity in Naruto's shinobi world. Naruto weighed 10 times more, so he wasn't able to even move his hand. He tried to look around and saw nothing but white. He tried for a whole hour, but no matter what he did, he wasn't able to get up. Yet he kept trying. He had to do something. After a full 24-hour day, he was able to stand up straight. As soon as he got on his 2 feet, a sound echoed from everywhere. It was the sound of someone clapping. Congratulations, you completed the first test. Naruto felt shivers run down his spine. Do not worry, I'm not here to hurt you. I am your spiritual ancestor. My name is Hagoromo. Many years ago, my 2 sons waged war against each other. You are their latest and last reincarnation. Naruto was surprised, but he nodded anyway. Half of the stuff Hagoromo said went over Bro's head. He grew curious and asked, "But Mr. Hagoromo, why did you bring me here?" Hagoromo explained, "It's because you are destined to save the world from the attack of aliens called Otsutsuki. But in your previous life, you were too weak to fight them. So this time, I will teach you myself and make you strong enough to face off against anyone." Naruto heard everything carefully, but focused on one thing. Otsutsuki! Naruto's sealed memories awaken, and he relives his entire past life, watching his mentors, friends, wife, and children die, and the world itself being erased. Naruto realizes he intentionally sent his memories back to change fate. Hagoromo confirms he sensed the disturbance in time due to their shared Six Paths chakra. Time in the real world is frozen, and Sasuke remains alive. Naruto will not age in this realm, but his spirit and chakra will grow stronger. To save the future, Naruto begins a 1,000-year training under Hagoromo, starting from the most basic movements, preparing to face the Otsutsuki and rewrite destiny itself. Hagoromo leaves him so that he can train alone, and the 1,000-year grind arc starts. Naruto's training in the White Realm began with something deceptively simple, taking a single step forward. When he tried to walk, the 10 times stronger gravity immediately overwhelmed him. The moment his foot touched the white floor, his strength gave out and he collapsed. In this realm, even a simple fall carried the force of dropping from over 10 feet, and while his body remained unharmed, his soul took the full impact. The pain was absolute, striking him at 100% intensity. However, unlike the body, the soul healed rapidly, and each time it recovered, it became stronger than before. Naruto realized this when his soul fully healed in under a minute, pushing him to try again. Hours of struggle eventually allowed him to stand, but the moment he attempted another step, he collapsed once more. For an entire month, Naruto repeated this cycle. Fall, recover, stand, fall again. At last, after relentless effort, he succeeded in taking his very first step. The achievement filled him with joy and pride, like a parent witnessing a child's first steps. Surprisingly, the second step came easily, followed by the third. His growth shocked even him. him, reinforcing the truth that the first step is always the hardest. Naruto continued walking forward, slowly and painfully, never stopping despite losing track of time. Hagoromo, however, knew that 6 months had passed, and at the start of the 7th month, Naruto noticed a distant wall of gray fog in the horizon. After months of endless white nothingness, the unfamiliar sight immediately seized his attention, and curiosity pushed him toward it. Before he could continue, Naruto collapsed unconscious. Though souls in this realm did not require food, they still needed rest. Naruto had trained non-stop, ignoring exhaustion. His willpower, while immense, was not limitless. He slept for an entire week. When he awoke, the change was dramatic. His soul felt lighter, his energy fully restored, and his mind refreshed. He realized that rest rebuilt his soul just like sleep rebuilt muscles, making it stronger than before. Moving forward now felt almost natural, as if he were walking on earth while carrying a heavy load. He could jog briefly and even manage small hops. With renewed strength, Naruto advanced toward the gray fog, but no matter how long he walked, it never seemed to get closer. It appeared to retreat the more he approached. Still, Naruto refused to give up, balancing training with rest whenever needed. On the final day of his first year in the White Realm, Naruto had grown exactly 10 times stronger. The crushing gravity now felt normal, yet the fog remained just as distant. Naruto finally confirmed his suspicion. The fog was actively moving away from him. Rather than panic, he embraced a simple solution befitting his knuckle-headed nature. If the fog was running, he would simply run faster. Naruto broke into a full sprint, pushing his speed to the limit. Though he grew mentally exhausted, his energy never failed him. After many hours, he was within arm's reach. With a final leap, Naruto burst through the fog. For a moment, mist surrounded him completely. Then he landed on solid gray ground on the other side, taking very little damage. The fog behind him stopped moving entirely. Naruto looked back once, smiling at how far he'd come, then turned forward to face what was next. Ahead of him was a gray staircase leading to the 2nd floor of the White Realm. Naruto paused, caught his breath, then stepped onto the first stair with a grin. Guess this is level 2. Realizing the next floor was probably level 2, Naruto stepped forward without hesitation. But even after a few minutes, he couldn't see the end of the staircase. Then something unexpected happened. The light began dimming, as if night was falling. Naruto shivered. In all his year on the 1st level, the sun had never set. He glanced back, tempted for a moment to retreat, but his willpower was forged in fire. He turned around and kept walking. By midnight, it was pitch dark. The step beneath his foot cracked, then crumbled to dust. Below was nothing but the dark abyss. No! Naruto thrust both palms to his sides. Wind style, air rockets, jutsu. Bursts of wind shot from his palms and launched him 100 steps forward. But the moment he landed, the next step crumbled too. It became a repeating cycle. He used wind-style air rockets jutsu to jump forward. The step under his feet started crumbling, so he jumped again, using the same jutsu, and this kept on repeating the same process. His chakra nature had always been wind release, so relearning it in this moment of life and death came instantly. While flying, he called out casually, "Trying to teach me my own chakra nature, old man? Well, it's going to be a fast lesson." He was already a master. He cleared step after step with ease. Hours later, dawn broke. With the returning sunlight, the steps stopped crumbling. Naruto walked the final stretch and spotted the end of the staircase. He looked at his palms, satisfied. In less than a day, he climbed the staircase. The experience of previous life was the only reason he could relearn his chakra nature so fast. After a few minutes of walking the staircase, he finally reached the last step. At the top, what greeted him was beyond anything he'd expected, an endless ocean stretching in every direction. No ground at all, just water. The staircase entrance sat like a hole cut into an infinite blue cloth. Naruto grinned and breathed in the cool air. Finally, a new challenge. He crouched and touched the water. His eyes narrowed. He was suddenly deeply afraid of it. Swimming in the cold waves would not be fun, but he had no real reason to worry. Despite being in the body of a 13-year-old child, he was actually an experienced shinobi elder who had been reborn, so the experience of his previous life helped him again. He did not have to swim in the water. He could just use his chakra to walk on it. His body and spirit did not have the same mastery in chakra as he did in his previous life, but with experience, he was able to reteach himself the basics in minutes. But just as he was about to step on the water, he realized there was something written on the last step of the staircase. There were just 2 words. "Give up." Naruto looked at those 2 words for a long time and scoffed. He looked up at the clear sky and shouted, "Old man Hagoromo, you think you can make me give up by simply writing 2 words on a step? In your dreams, geezer." There was no reply, but Naruto was happy with himself. He didn't wait another moment and immediately stepped onto the ocean. But as soon as he did, he realized something. This endless body of water wasn't actually an ocean. It was a river that flowed from his left to right. The strong flow of the river wasn't something Naruto expected. The water looked still on the surface, so as soon as his foot submerged a little, he immediately got sucked into the current. He fell deep into the river, and the current continued carrying him. His mouth tasted the sweet river water instead of the salty seawater, confirming his suspicion that this entire body of water was just a really big river. He soon flowed far away from the staircase that appeared like a hole in the endless grand river. Suddenly, he was terrified. He realized that in this entire trial, he will never be able to step on land again. The water was cool, not especially cold, but it was still not very comfortable to be drenched in his clothes. He tried to rise above the water by dispersing chakra from his legs, but no matter how hard he tried, he failed and fell back in. But he never gave up. That's what the trail wanted him to do. He was simply not going to listen. Each and every time he tried to stand above the water, he fell back down. But in each failure, he learned something. The first lesson he learned was that gravity here was 30 times stronger than Earth, which is why he was having a hard time standing up again. And finally, after a whole week of continuous trying, he figured it out. Just dispersing the chakra was not enough to stand on fast-flowing river water. His chakra needs to be dispersed in a specific direction against the flow of the water. That way, he won't feel like he is continuously standing on a liquid treadmill. But despite figuring out the trick, his chakra control was not good enough to perform it. So he spent a whole another month mastering chakra dispersion. In this month, he also made sure to sleep a few times to take rest. He was a spirit, not an actual body, so he technically didn't need to breathe. Drowning wasn't a concern. Soon, he was able to stand on the flowing water with some difficulty. He looked around the river and thought about how to complete this trial. The answer came to his mind easily. The last step of the staircase told him to give up. And if he gave up while swimming in the river, he will obviously be taken away by the flow. But if he moved against the flow, it would be the opposite of giving up. It would be much harder and take far more time and effort. But to Naruto, all of it was worth it to save his loved ones. Giving up wasn't a term in his vocabulary, and Naruto didn't even know what the word vocabulary meant. Either way, he was never going to give up. So after comfortably being able to stand, he slowly started walking against the river's flow. After 3 months of practice, he was able to entirely walk normally, even run short distances. After a whole year, he had grown proficient enough in chakra dispersion to move around normally. Every day he traveled forward against the river's flow. But no matter how much he traveled, he wasn't really making any progress, because the more he traveled across the river, the faster its flow became. Naruto had a huge amount of chakra, but after many days of non-stop trying, he would eventually run out of it and was forced to fall back into the water and go to sleep to recover. This continued happening for a long time. Naruto slowly mastered his chakra control and used it as efficiently as possible. But still, he was nowhere near the estuary of the river. Every time he thought he made progress, he ran out of chakra and was forced to sleep for a long time, resetting his progress to 0. No matter how much he tried, all his efforts bore no results. He felt like he was never going to reach the start of the river. 3 years passed by this struggle. Now he had completely mastered chakra control, and after that he was focused on something else. He decided to learn the water chakra nature to use water itself to propel him forward. He spent 5 more years learning water style. He relearned a lot of jutsu he had seen in his previous life and even invented new ones. By year 9, he was already one of the best water style users in history. With his newfound skill, he was able to travel upstream much faster. But the more he traveled, the faster the water flowed. It was completely unfair, he said. In the last trial, the wall of gray fog stopped after moving a fixed distance away from him, and its speed never changed, which is why he was able to catch up to it after moving faster. But this river kept moving faster the further he traveled. He still didn't give up and tried one more year, but there were no results. He thought it was the 10th year now, but it was hard to tell if it hadn't been longer. He didn't have a calendar after all. He was tired, both mentally and spiritually. He had grown so much, it was easier for him to move on water than land now. But no matter what, he always failed. If this was the 13-year-old Naruto, he might have tried for another decade. But this was Naruto with over 70 years of experience. He was no longer as naive. So he simply stopped using his chakra and fell into the endlessly flowing river. He relaxed his body and decided to not move a muscle. He had decided to do what he hated the most. He had given up. He had listened to what was written on the stairs. Naruto had accepted completely failing at his task. He closed his eyes and fell into a deep sleep. His body was carried downstream by the river's flow continuously. If he had made any progress in the last 10 years of hard work, it was all gone now. He kept flowing unconsciously for a long time. He was first slowing down, then he kept speeding up. It went on for a long time until finally one day he felt a hard slap on his face. He immediately woke up and stood on his legs. But he suddenly realized he didn't need to use chakra. He was simply standing. After looking down, he saw a gray stone floor, much like the gray stairs that connected level 1 and 2. But this floor was entirely flat, except there was a headless statue in the middle. When Naruto looked at that statue, his eyes widened. It was a gray statue that sat with crossed legs. The muscles on it were defined like a Greek sculpture, and his hands were stretched to the side, his palms facing opposite directions. His right palm released a flawless stream of water, while his left arm absorbed another stream of water. Naruto didn't consider himself to be smart, but looking at the statue, Even he was able to figure out what was happening. The river was a loop. The statue's right palm sprayed the river water out, then the water circulated across the world and then returned inside his left palm. Then it would get thrown out of the right palm once again. It was an endlessly circling river. Suddenly, Naruto realized why the last step on the second level had the words "give up" written on it. By giving up, he was letting himself go with the river's flow, and eventually he ended up reaching the left palm. Even if he moved opposite the stream, he would eventually reach the same place, just at the right palm. So, the slap I felt earlier was because I got sucked in by the left palm of this statue? Naruto laughed, but he also felt sad. He had just wasted 10 years working hard for no reason, when simply giving up got him here with no effort. But that sadness only lasted a moment, because soon Naruto remembered what he had learned. He was a master of chakra control and also an expert in water-style jutsu. Even in the 70 years of his life, he was only able to use simple water style, but never mastered it. Yet in just 10 years, he was able to do it here. Even if his goals weren't reached with hard work, all his work hadn't gone to waste. But that wasn't it. Naruto also learned an important life lesson today, which was to know when to give up. All his life, the last one and even the new one, he believed in never giving up. But today, when he faced impossible odds, for the first time he felt like giving up was the better option. Time was important. 1,000 years may seem like a long time, but he had so much more to learn. After mastering water style and chakra control, there was nothing left to gain in this trial. Giving up was the decision that needed to be made. For his friends and family, Naruto wouldn't think twice before accepting 1,000,000,000 losses. With that, Naruto smiled, believing he had gained something invaluable today. Then he turned around and threw a Rasengan at the statue. Doesn't matter if you're a statue. How dare you slap me, you piece of ugly stone? But at the end of the day, Naruto was still Naruto, and no matter how many times he was reborn, he would never forget how to use the Rasengan. In the next moment, his Rasengan hit the statue and instantly turned it to dust. With his mastery of chakra control, his Rasengan was much stronger than usual. But as soon as the statue was destroyed, the level started breaking apart. The gray stone floor cracked, and the river started creating tsunamis. Naruto was terrified and tried to find an escape or a staircase to level 3, but there wasn't any. Only when he looked back at the statue did he realize that there was a hole beneath where it sat. The tsunami waves were approaching and the floor was about to crack, so without thinking, Naruto jumped into the hole.